Chairs No Waiting, episode number 725, Singing in Mayberry, Part 2. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at Weaver's Department Store. That's right, you can head over to Weaver's Department Store, check out all the great stuff they have over there. If you're going to be traveling to any of the Mayberry things, maybe in Mount Airy or something, a great book is the Mayberry Travel Guide. Give you all kinds of information about Andy Griffith's hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina, facts, things, all kinds of stuff you can do there. Check out the Mayberry Travel Guide by Randy Turner. While you're over there, you might want to get some Mayberry Man playing cards. They're actually cards you can play with, and it's got pictures from the movie. Head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com and check it out. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners just like you, the executive producer of episode number 726. They are Larry and Ann Granger, and the Patreon patron of the week for 726 is Cody Sloan. So thank you, Larry, Ann, and Cody. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with me. I'm Alan Newsom, the host of Two Chairs No Waiting. And I've been doing this for a while, and I still can't get it right because I think this is episode number 726, not 25. So it's 726. I think I said 25 at the beginning. Anyway, hopefully you didn't think, oh, I'm getting a rerun and leave, because we got some fun. Tonight, we're going to be doing Singing in Mayberry Part 2. Last week, I'd gone through some videos that I had around the house that I was digitizing, and found some really neat things. I hope you watched last week's 725 episode, Singing in Mayberry, where we got to hear from Betty Lynn and Howard Morris. Well, today, whenever you're listening or watching this, this is another one you might want to watch. I think last week's was one you might want to watch it, because we're going to be actually listening to the video version. So if you're watching the video version of the show, you'll be able to see what was going on. These events, last week's and this one, were recorded at the 2002 Mayberry Days Colonel Tim event. So last week I didn't know what event that was from, which year it was, but thanks to some sleuthing around, and some people wrote in and told me this as well. But looking in my wife, who always scrapbooks, I was able to find photos of that year, and sure enough, that was 2002. So thanks to her, I was able to completely be sure of what year it was. But it was the 2002 Mayberry Days. And last week we heard from Betty. She sang, and so did Howard Morris. And this week we're going to hear from Maggie Peterson. That's Charlene Darling herself. And she's going to be joined by Howard Morris. It's just a little segment there. So just to let you know, Maggie is not singing Charlene songs in this one. She would often sing different types of songs, kind of jazz type songs, at Mayberry Days, but that's what she's going to be singing. So without me talking anymore, let me tell you, that's what we're about to go and hear. David Browning, the Mayberry deputy, is going to introduce her, and then we will come back and play some trivia, and I got a couple of other things I would like to show you as well. So without further ado, let's head over to Mayberry Days in 2002 with David Browning.
The pleasures just get better and better in life as we grow and get older. And one of the great pleasures of my life is many times over the last few years, I've had this honor. And it's a true honor because this is the great gal. Let's welcome Charlene Darling, Maggie Peterson.
Choose a mic here. I'll try this. Okay, I love a piano. I love a piano. I love to hear somebody play on a piano. A brand new piano carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers over the keys, the ivories, and with the pen. I love to bet when Paderewski comes my way. I'm so delighted if I'm invited to hear someone Let's make a winsome time. I never even think of it. Chasing rain, hoping to find a little bluebird in rain. I'll be loving you always. My love is true always. When the things you planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Howard Girl, I will be loving you always. The things you plan need a helping hand. I will understand always. Things may not be fair. That's when I'll be there always. Not for just a day, not for just a week, not for just a year, but always.
So the pianist is Phyllis. That's Maggie's sister. And as I said, she was joined on stage with Howard Morris. What special memories these are to see Maggie and Howard on stage together. It was amazing just to be able to see them and to just be there. Being there at the time was absolutely amazing as well. But wow. Maggie Peterson and Howard Morris, ladies and gentlemen, singing there at the end together. And if you watch the video version, it's a little bit overblown, the lighting, the way those older video cameras worked. They did I'm getting technical here, but they did an average over the whole screen. And so if you weren't zoomed in close, it would kind of too much light on the faces, and you just couldn't really even see them unless you were zoomed in. And Jan was taking pictures, as I mentioned earlier. Luckily, she had taken photos, or I wouldn't have known what year it was. And so she was taking photos and trying to film at the same time. So I think she did a great job. So, wow, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope those of you that were able to watch the video enjoyed it as well. If you're just listening, I think you can definitely imagine them on stage at the theater, the Andy Griffith Theater. They are in Mount Airy. So I mentioned at the start of the show that at Weavers, you can pick up a copy of the Mayberry Travel Guide by Randy Turner. Now, one of my friends who we featured here on the podcast back on episode number 685, it's Cody, Cody Ray. You don't know if you remember him, but Cody Ray, I can't say Cody's last name, Devane. I hope I said you right, Cody. But he and his girlfriend Satori got to go to Mount Airy for the very first time recently. He was very excited, and I think she had a good time as well. And he sent me photos of him at the Mayberry Courthouse. Satori was in there. She even got locked up in the jail cell. So, guys, if you ever get to go to Mount Airy, definitely take time to go and do this stuff. I know Cody, he had been seeing these pictures and seeing events for the last several years, and he was just excited to be able to go there. They got their picture made with the Mount Airy sign. If you get to go to Mount Airy, I encourage you to do all these things because you'll something you won't forget. They got to go to the museum, of course. I recommend that highly. Going to the Andy Griffith Museum and going over to Wally's and taking a squad car tour ride or something. But he got his picture made with the sheriff and justice of the peace signs from the front door of the Mayberry Courthouse, as well as Maggie's. That's the reason I brought this back up. Maggie's actual clothes that she wore when she performed as Charlene at Mayberry events. They're right there, as well as George Lindsay's Goober outfits are there as well. And Cody got his pictures made with him with that stuff, and I think he really enjoyed it. He even got to stay at the Mayberry Motor Inn, where we're going to be having our Mayberry meetup later this year. So Cody and Satori, I'm so glad you got to go. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, and I look forward to hearing an actual trip report because they were just stopping there for one day as they headed to Florida. So head over to listen to, if you don't remember who Cody is, he's got a great story to tell. If you head over to Two Chairs No Waiting, number 685, and you can hear more about him. If you'll remember, he was the gentleman who listened to the podcast while he was going through chemo treatments and wrote me a long time ago and talked about how it helped him get through the chemo treatments and kept his spirits up. And so, Cody, thank you. You lift my spirits every time I hear any of these stories. So thank you so much. All right, guys. I think I'm down to doing the trivia with you tonight. We have some really good trivia this week, and it's by our friend Paul Mulik. You guys remember Paul, I'm pretty sure. He is often correcting me with my answers because I get things close but not exactly right. So he's got some trivia for us. So I need to go and get our trivia music, don't I, from our VW boys. We're going to get our trivia music going. So there it is, a little background music. All right, so this is trivia's titled Who Said It? So it's Who Said It trivia, Who Said It by Paul Mulik. All right, if you guys are ready, there are, I believe, 8 questions and a bonus, I believe is right. So you'll see as we go through it. Let's see how you do. If everybody's ready, the chat room seems to be ready to go, I think. And I don't think these are overly hard. And Paul assures me every answer is correct because sometimes the answers are not exactly right, or there might be more than one answer. All right, so here we go. Question number 1, Who Said It trivia by Paul. Okay, ready? Here we go. Question 1. Who said this? Who said, "Hey, mister, you're all tied up to a tree"? Who said, "Hey, mister, you're all tied up to a tree"? Who said that? Who said, "Hey, mister, you're all tied up to a tree"? All right, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm not seeing a whole lot of answers in our chat room, but hopefully you guys will get these. And I should tell you that every question, there is a connection. Okay, so be thinking about that as you go through these. Final read. Who said, "Hey, mister, you're all tied up to a tree"? The answer is Gomer. Gomer Pyle said that, and it was in the episode Andy's Vacation. Andy's Vacation. Okay. Next questions. They're all who said it, so these are all quotes. I'm trying not to read them like the person because it's going to be hard. All right, so here we go. Question number 2. Who said, "Puddentane, ask me again and I'll tell you the same"? Who said, "Puddentane, ask me again and I'll tell you the same"? Who said it? Okay. Last read. Who said, "Puddentane, ask me again and I'll tell you the same"? Okay, the answer is Barney. Barney said that. Barney said it in the jailbreaker in Jailbreak. Okay? It was Barney. It's so hard not to read those. Pudding-tang. Ask me again, I'll tell you the same. All right. Number 3. Who said, "That's the clunker I sold to that boob in Mayberry"? Who said, "That's the clunker I sold to that boob in Mayberry"? I love these. Thank you, Paul, for doing these. Everybody thank him when you get a chance. Who said, "That's the clunker I sold to that boob in Mayberry"? The answer is Mrs. Lesh. Mrs. Lesh said it in Barney's first car. Barney's first car. All right. Question number 4. Question number 4. Who said, "That's me, able-bodied man"? That's me, able-bodied man. This one's a little harder than the other ones to me. Who said, "That's me, able-bodied man"? All right, giving you a little chance to think about it. Now, again, if you're listening to the podcast recorded, you can pause so you don't hear the answer if you want to think about it a little longer. Final read here. Who said, "That's me, able-bodied man"? The answer is Ernest T. Bass. And Ernest T. Bass joins the Army. Oh, the chat room got it. A lot of them got that. Good job. Grandma Walton was not a correct answer for Mrs. Lesh, by the way, even though she played the same character. I can't give you Grandma Walton. All right, so Ernest T. Bass is the answer. He said it, and Ernest T. Bass joins the Army. He doesn't grow the Army. All right, number 5. Number 5. Who said, "That's a pretty good joke, but the joke's over"? I wrote these down. I don't remember. Who said, "That's a pretty good joke, but the joke's over"? Who said, "That's a pretty good joke, but the joke's over"? The answer is Andy. Andy said that in Lawman Barney. Lawman Barney. Some folks in the chat room were getting that. Andy, good job. All right, I don't think I would have got that. That's a pretty good joke, but the joke's over. I don't know if I know that quote. All right, here we go. Question number 6. There's 8 questions. Remember, they're all related in some way. Okay, so be thinking about that as you go through them. Question number 6. Who said, "I've told you not once, not twice, but 3 different times you're not supposed to do that"? I know it wasn't your father or mother, so it was somebody on the show. Who said, "I've told you not once, not twice, but 3 different times you're not supposed to do that"? That's a tough one to me. I've told you not once, not twice, but 3 different times you're not supposed to do that. All right, so this is the last read, and then I'm going to give you the answer because I'm giving you this is a long quote. So here you go. I've told you not once, not twice, but 3 times you're not supposed to do that. The answer is Barney in Barney's uniform. Oh, Barney said that. Okay. All right, here we go. Question number 7. Question number 7. Who said, "Are we going to talk or are we going to fight"? Who said, "Are we going to talk or are we going to fight"? Boy, these are tough. They're getting pretty tough here. These are pretty hard. Who said, "Are we going to talk or are we going to fight"? Let's see. I'm watching the chat room, see if anybody's getting guesses. I'm seeing at least one correct answer already. So who said, "Are we going to talk or are we going to fight"? The answer is Howard Sprague. Howard Sprague is the one who said that. Are we going to talk or are we going to fight? That's in Howard's Main Event is the name of the episode. Okay. And our final regular question is question number 8. So here it goes. Who said disgraceful lack of police protection nowadays? Who said disgraceful lack of police protection nowadays? Whew. These are tough. You guys are doing pretty good in the chat room, by the way. Hopefully you are too, listening. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay and enjoying it anyway. Who said disgraceful lack of police protection nowadays? So pause if you don't want to hear the answer, because here comes the answer. Who said disgraceful lack of police protection nowadays? The answer is, wow, it was C.J. Hassler. He was the jewel thief in the Andy and Barney in the Big City. Remember that? He was the jewel thief. He was also on, if you were a kid like me in the 70s that watched Shazam, Captain Marvel, he was the mentor of Billy Batson. That's who he is. C.J. Hassler, the jewel thief in Andy and Barney in the Big City. That's who said disgraceful lack of police protection nowadays. Whew, that was tough. All right, guys, now we have a bonus question. So I told you a few times that these questions were related in some way. They were related. So here's the question. What do all of these quotes have in common? Oh, now that's going to take some thinking. What do all of these quotes that we've gone through, what do they all have in common? This is a bonus. Can you get it? I'm letting you think about it for a second. What do all the quotes have in common? That's the reason I was trying to mention it in the chat room. Looks like people may be picking up on it. So here's the answer, guys. Pause if you don't want to hear it. Here's the answer. What do all the quotes have in common? All of the quotes, this is the answer, were spoken to a character, or to characters played by Alan Melvin. Every quote was spoken to a character that was played by Alan Melvin. Wow. Great job, Paul Mulik. Let's give him a hand. Good job. Great trivia questions, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. Very creative, very good group of questions. They were all by Alan Melvin. Now, if you can't remember who he is, it's Sam the Butcher on the not on the Andy Griffith Show, but on the Brady Bunch. And of course, he was on a lot of other things too. He was on Gomer Pyle, tons of things. Of course, he's on the Andy Griffith Show a whole bunch of times. I should know the number, but I don't. But he has done a lot. So all those quotes were spoken to characters played by Alan Melvin. So great job. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really good. Thank you to Paul Mulik for taking the time to send that in, because those were very fun and a lot of good questions. So if you would like to submit questions, I've got some others that have been submitted in the past that I have not yet used. But if you'd like to submit questions for trivia, send me 8 or 10 of them, and we will use them here on the podcast. If don't make them too hard or too easy. Try to make them or something creative like Paul did. That was very, very interesting. So that was really cool. All right, so let's see. Anybody else got anything else that I haven't told you yet? I don't think so. Last week, I was going to show you the pictures and stuff from Cody last week, and we just kind of ran out of time. But the last couple of podcasts have been pretty long. This one's about standard length, so that's pretty good, I think. Folks, it is so good to have you guys here with me each week here in Mayberry. And as always, I would love to hear from you. Whether you're going to send in trivia questions or not, or if you got something else to tell me. I want to thank so many of you that did write saying that you would enjoy hearing about Mayberry Man and us covering it here on the podcast. So I am looking to be able to do that. I'm looking at different ways to do it, but I'm probably going to put it as part of the podcast, but I may also do it so that it's kind of like Randy Turner's section. That was something that Peter recommended. So I'll have a separate section of the show so that folks don't like it, they could tune out. So I thought that was a really good idea. We may move in that direction as well, just to keep it going there. I think that would be a lot of fun. And plus, I could release it separately. So thanks to everybody that wrote me and said yes, they would love to hear from it. Made me feel a lot more confident about doing that, that it wasn't going to be completely off topic to many of you. So I, again, would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415. You can email me at floyd@imayberry.com, or just drop over at twochairsnowaiting.com, and there's ways to comment right there on the page. So, folks, thanks again for spending time in Mayberry. I always enjoy spending time with you, and we'll see you next week right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.